Hello there everyone, today we are finding everything that was in Breath of the Wild that has been removed from Tears of the Kingdom. This includes everything from armors to characters, and I will try to provide a possible explanation for the removal. I'll go through this in inventory order, going from armor to key items, then looking through the new game Hyrule Compendium. There actually isn't too much cut content from the previous game, which really surprised me, but let's get to it. We're going from left to right on the inventory, so first up is armor, where we have a solid amount of cut outfits. First is the well-worn set, which was likely cut due to the archaic set replacing it, and being a lot better looking. Both serve as the first armor in the game that has very little defense and can't be upgraded. Next is the ancient set, which was removed because everything ancient Sheikah related was removed. It also got replaced by the new Zonite set. Its unique effect was also rendered useless, since Guardians have been completely removed. If the set were in Tears of the Kingdom, it would be one of the worst sets in the game, since its only other aspect is defense. While technically in Tears of the Kingdom, the Phantom set was removed and renamed it to the Evil Spirit set, and also replaced the Barbarian set as a reward for completing the Labyrinths, which was kinda disappointing to me. I don't see why they chose the Evil Spirit set, which isn't upgradable, dyeable, and has effects already seen on the Radiant set. The only good aspect is the looks. I personally think they should have swapped the Hero of the Wild set for this, making you get the Hero of the Wild set from the Labyrinths, and the Evil Spirit set from the Dark Skeletons. It was renamed due to a completely different Phantom Ganon being in the game, but I think they could have added a special effect where it makes Gloomhands not spawn. The Thunder Helm was replaced by the Yiga's Lightning Helm. When you think about it, the Yiga basically do everything the Gerudo did in the first game. You have to wear a specific armor set to get in, and you get some extremely OP armor piece that makes you immune to electricity. It's the exact same, but I wonder what happened lore-wise to the OG Thunder Helm. The Salvager set was a cross-promotion for Xenoblade 2, and the outfit took the appearance of Rex, the main character of the game. I don't know why they removed it, since it wasn't like it was a completely different company who made Xenoblade. I thought the outfit was pretty cool looking, and I was disappointed to see it gone. The Nintendo Switch shirt had no reason to go. It was a fun piece of armor that was useless, but I liked the design. I hope they bring it back in DLC or something. Finally, the most well-known removal, the Gerudo Vi set. Link can no longer cross-dress. No, I'm not counting the shitty CC hat. It was likely removed because you don't need to be a girl to get into Gerudo Town. It's also interesting that, from what I know of, Villia, the NPC who gives you the Vi set, isn't in Tears of the Kingdom as well. It's also sort of been replaced by the Yiga set, since that set lets you into the Yiga clan hideout. It is strange that it was removed, but I really hope it comes back in DLC. Okay, that's it for the armor, and now we have the weapons, starting off with the bows. The Bow of Light and the Twilight Bow have been removed. The Bow of Light was removed likely because Dark Beast Ganon isn't in the game, which was the only time the bow could be used in Breath of the Wild. The Twilight Bow was replaced by the Dusk Bow, which just shoots arrows really far. They also removed light arrows, so their unique functionality would have been gone. Finally, the Ancient Bow was removed and replaced by the Zonite Bow. It's not pretty surprising that it was removed, considering no more Sheikah technology exists. I do think the Ancient Bow was far better than the Zonite Bow, though. Finally, we have all the arrows. Every arrow that wasn't the basic arrow was removed, because fusing was how you get those special arrows now. They were completely replaced. Alright, onto the shields. Surprisingly, only the Ancient and Guardian shields didn't make it into Tears of the Kingdom for obvious reasons. Now we have weapons. This one is large. A ton of these were cut because certain fuses replaced them. Obvious ones being the Woodcutter's Axe, Double Axe, Iron Sledgehammer, Stone Smasher, Drill Shaft, Spring-Loaded Hammer, the Elemental Swords, the Quark Leaf, and the Elemental Rods. Fuses like Monster Horns and Rocks replaced the axes and mining weapons, and the elemental weapons have been replaced by Elemental Lizalfos Horns, Gliok Horns, and Dragon Horns. The spring-loaded hammer was replaced by wild shrooms and seal plushies. The Korok leaf got replaced by other wind fuses, with a smaller Korok leaf being one of them. And finally, the elemental rods were replaced by the gems, which can be fused to any weapon to produce an elemental rod. There are also magic rods and scepters, which are the second tier rods from the first game. Next is the second tier of certain weapon sets. These are the Serpentine Spear, Silver Scale Spear, Moonlight Scimitar, Ceremonial Trident, and Edge of Duality. These are probably removed because the developers didn't want too many weapons, since every weapon has a decayed and pristine version, and fusing gives you more powerful weapons rather than you finding new weapons. These weapons probably would have made the weaker versions of them completely useless. The one-hit obliterator was removed because the DLC quest isn't in the game, so there will be no reason for it to be here. It's also Sheikah in origin, so it's double gone. The Ancient and Guardian weapons were removed, again, for obvious reasons, and for some reason all the Yiga weapons were removed, which I honestly don't know why. They now carry 8-fold blades and 8-fold long blades rather than the Vicious Sickle, Demon Carver, and Wind Cleaver. I can't think of why they were removed other than to thin out the weapon roster. At least the 8-fold long blade gained the Wind Cleaver's Wind Slash. Surprisingly, a lot of enemy weapons were removed as well, those being Lizzle, Forked and Tri-Boomerangs, Bokoblin Club, Boko Bat, Moblin Club, Boko Spear, Moblin Spear, and Lizalfos Spear, and they all carried all their upgraded variants. I think this one was done to simplify the weapons carried, since now they all carry wooden sticks, long wooden sticks, and thick sticks, and their upgraded counterparts. I think this was a logical choice, since there would be so many weapons if they kept the old ones, but it's just so boring to have sticks as the main weapon of these super deadly enemies seizing Hyrule. At least some of them have interesting fuse attachments, which gives them a unique flair, but it just simplifies the enemy's weapons into a stick with something pointy on the end, whereas in Breath of the Wild you got Dragon Bone sticks, handcrafted lizard boomerangs, and in general, really awesome weapons. Finally, a change that I am not a fan of, the removal of Lynel weapons. Just why? These are some of the best weapons from the first game, and they looked awesome. But now they just carry your standard claymore and broadswords. They don't even have any weapon. They don't even have any unique fuses. It's just a standard sword. You can sort of get the first game's Lynel weapons with the red and blue Lynel horns, but the white Lynel deviates from the trend, and you can only do this with the swords. There's no Crusher-styled horn or Spear-styled horn. I really think it's a bad decision to have Lynel just be carrying standard weapons rather than their custom-made ones. Alright, now we're on to materials. Only 9 materials have been removed, those being the hardy durian, the hardy blue-shell snail, and the guardian parts were removed because of the lack of guardians, and the hardy items were likely removed because hardy ingredients are way too common. When you look at it, a ton of materials have the hardy effect, so it makes sense. And that's it for materials. Now we move on to the Hyrule Compendium, and first we have the Fauna tab. The only animal to be removed is the Lord of the Mountains, Satori. While he's technically in the game, he can only be seen in a cutscene after you offer fruit to a cherry tree. It's unfortunate that you can no longer ride him. Maybe a permanent Satori could have been the reward for getting every bubble gem. It would have been way better than a single paraglider fabric. But then again, these games aren't known for having very good completion rewards. I'm looking at you, Hester, and your golden pile of shit. Enemies. The golden enemies were removed because the Master Mode isn't in Tears of the Kingdom for some reason. I don't know why, but it just isn't here. They must be saving it for DLC, again. The bosses of the first game are also gone, those being Monk Ma's Koshia, the Blights, Calamity Ganon, and Dark Beast Ganon. The DLC Overworld bosses were also removed, so goodbye Malda King and Igneo Talus Titan. The Guardians were also removed because Sheikah don't exist anymore. And finally, Cursed Skull enemies were removed, likely because Malice is gone and has been replaced by Gloom. Seriously, if they had to change the name from Malice, why couldn't it be something better than Gloom? It's a terrible name. Alright, this is the last category, the key items. We obviously lose the Sheikah Slate and the runes, since they are replaced by a much worse Pure Pad and much better hand abilities. Seriously though, the NPCs say the Pure Pad is better than the Sheikah Slate, but it doesn't have the runes, so it's basically just an average cell phone. We also have the champion abilities, as they were replaced by much worse sages. I have an entire video going into that, by the way. And there is only one other key item we lose. Surprisingly, that's the classified envelope, the reward for completing the Hyrule Compendium. It's a terrible reward. First, a pile of shit, now an envelope. Come on. It was replaced by Robbie's Fabric, which is a much better reward. I guess there's also the Champions photo, but you can see it in Tears of the Kingdom if you completed a DLC on an existing Breath of the Wild save file. Well, that's it for this video. Leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you enjoyed. Comment down below if you have any video ideas or if I missed something. With that said, have a great day and see you guys next time.